Hey guys, and welcome back to Thelearningdroid and another one of our pyrography videos. In this one guys, I'm doing another fairy based sign, and I'm going to be using the spoon or the hammered detail point, the detail shader point. I'm also going to be using the spear point, and I'm going to be using a fine detail point. Thanks again to Red SK Illustrations over on Facebook for doing my opening art and my new channel art. So guys, this one's another one in the sign set that I've been doing recently, and again it's on basswood, 4 inches by approximately 10. Starting off with the spoon shade a bit, as always drawing away. For some reason today guys, I suffer from this thing where my hands shake occasionally. My hands were a little bit shaky today, so I'm not particularly proud of how good the lines came out, but as you can see, nice smooth strokes for long lines, small touches to get details of the short lines. Using the edge for the fine lines and using a slightly tilted part of the base for the fluff around her ballet slippers. And this one is based on, this one's for more of a sporty, physical girl. So we've done more of a angry Tinkerbell motif. Apparently she likes fairies and she likes Tinkerbell especially, so just like her sister. And so we've done a slightly more angry one. As you can see guys, I check the temperature using a scrap bit of basswood. It's actually the same bit of scrap I was using before guys, I just sanded it off rather than waste another bit of basswood. I just sanded it off to get a new look, to get a new piece of tester. I've done stripes on the wings guys because I was looking more for a sort of a suggestion of aggression and power, and to me that's kind of striped wasp wing, aggressive insect style wing. I used the spear point to do all of the eyes because the spoon shader wasn't quite capable of doing the eyes. Then I switched back to the detail shader wasn't capable of doing the small details on the eyes, so I used a spear point. Switched back to the detail shade now for doing the main parts of the fairies. And as you can see guys, lots of nice small lines, lots of nice little touches. For the hair guys, I use a kind of stuttering. When I do the edge of the hairs, I do the lines, and then I do, as you can see, the kind of little stuttering effect that gives a nice striation to the hair. A little bit of shading, underside of the jawline, one part of each limb, just to give an idea of light, an idea of 3D. It makes things look really gives things more of a 3D effect if you just put a little bit of shading on one side of every limb. And there's the obligatory bit of hair that appears in every video. My hair has a slight sort of camera hogging desire. I tried to give some shape to her shoulder blades on the back as well guys. The most complicated set of wings, we've got 4 overlapping wings that can be seen through each other because they're quite thin and fine fairy wings, which meant the lines were a little bit strange and got a little bit tight now down near the bottom. And as you can see guys, once again, little taps for the hair, smooth lines, and then a little bit of striation once I'm finished. And a little bit of shading. Then guys, I move on to the main letters. I start off by lining around the letters, but then I realised that actually that doesn't look very good. It doesn't give me the appearance I'm looking for. So what I'm going to decide to do is I'm going to decide to put the temperature up, and I'm going to decide to do a heavy shade instead. So I finish this letter and I think, no, this isn't what I'm looking for. So I switch, I turn up the temperature, and I do a heavy shade instead. Now the heavy shade does lead to some heat scarring guys, but as you'll see later on, when I put in the picture, sanding it lightly removes a lot of the heat scar. You have to remember when you get heat scarring when doing things like this, that a lot of the heat scar is going to be very, very shallow. Now, this is a double-edged sword because a lot of the very fine shading is going to be very shallow as well. So if you sand too much, you can take off your own shading, which is your basically intentional heat scarring. But when you're doing heavy works, heat scarring is going to be very shallow, so you can remove most of it using a bit of light sanding. Now I'm going to switch over onto the fine detail point, and the fine detail point lets me do this wording at the bottom. Now I'm not hugely happy with the wording guys, simply because As I said, my hands were really shaky today, so it didn't come out as nice as I wanted it to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.